I'm Mark Tilley, and welcome to Dirtbike Magazine's video series, The 22s, 450 edition. Today, we're getting our first chance to ride the brand new 2022 KTM 450SXF. Now, you might be looking at this bike saying, it looks like last year's motorcycle. And you would be fairly correct. KTM didn't make any major changes in the 2022 model. Now, there is some changes in the fork and some minor setup changes. Naturally, it has different graphics on it than last year. The big tell is the orange frame. What we've seen in the past is when the orange frame comes, that means the next bike is gonna be all new. And we hear rumors that it will be. But the bike not changing for 2022 is not a bad thing. This is a good motorcycle. The 2021 model had a strong motor, strong brakes. It does still have a air fork, which all the Japanese and other manufacturers have gone back to a spring fork. KTM, Gas, and Husky all have the air fork system. This bike does have the hydraulic clutch. It has a lot of stuff that we've become accustomed to, and you can buy a mapping system from KTM to change the maps yourself on this bike. They're not available right now, but that is an option. So that's enough talking. If you want all the in-depth details on this motorcycle, head over to dirtbikemagazine.com. We're gonna go ride it. So we just got done with our first day of testing on the 2022 KTM 450SXF model, and no real big surprises. There's no major changes, but that's, like we said in the beginning, that's not a bad thing with this bike. It has a really strong motor. It has really strong brakes. It's got the hydraulic clutch. It's got the adjustability to where if you do want to change maps, you can buy that as an option. You can buy that machine as an option to be able to do that stuff. It comes with Dunlop tires, but there is a couple things that we have carried over that we got to test from our 21 model and that we really like now on the 22 model. The Fcp Engine Mounts make the bike a little bit less rigid, a little bit more rider comfort there. The option on the vented and the non-vented airbox is kind of cool. Some guys will be a little bit particular and not like the extra sucking noise, but most of our test riders didn't mind it, and it does add a little bit of performance gains. Because this bike does come with the coveted orange frame, we noticed after the first day of testing, some of our test riders were scuffing up the top of the frame where the top of the frame mounts were. There is some other frame guards out there that do go a little bit higher up for more protection and offer some grip. A chair piece is one of those. The one thing we do get with this particular model is that a lot of people say that the chassis itself is really rigid and they want more rider comfort. The other thing that we've changed that has made a huge difference is to go to the split triple clamps. KTM offers it on their factory edition this last year, and there is a couple aftermarket companies that do have that as well. S-Trick, Ride Engineering. So there is people out there and that does make a big difference to free up the chassis a little bit. If you don't mind how the chassis is, it's not a big deal. You don't have to do it. But that is something that we have addressed on last year's model, and it's something that you'll address on this year's model as well. Another way to get a little bit more rider comfort out of it is to change the bars. The stock neck and bars are a really rigid style bar. The bars that come on the Husky, which are pro tapers, or even ODI makes a flex bar that will give that bike a little bit more flex and be right up in the handlebars. Again, this is our first day of testing on this motorcycle. We got to test more things because the bike hadn't really changed since the last year. We did get to test a couple things we know worked on last year's model. But we plan on doing a lot more testing, and then we're starting to get some of the other 2022 models from the other manufacturers. Pretty soon it's going to be shootout time. So check back at Dirtbike Magazine for all the updates, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our latest releases.